Khotyn is a city in Chernovtsi Oblast of western Ukraine, and is the administrative center of Khotyn Raion within the oblast, and is located southwest of Kamenets-Podilskyi. According to the 2001 Ukrainian census, it has a population of 11,124. Khotyn, first chronicled in 1001, is located on the right bank of the Dniester River, and is part of the historical region Bessarabia. Important architectural landmarks within the city include the Khotyn Fortress, constructed in the 13th–15th centuries, and two 15th-century constructions by Moldavia's ruler Stephen the Great, the Prince's Palace and the city's clock tower. Historically, the town was part of the Principality of Moldavia, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the Ottoman Empire. Subsequently, it was part of the Bessarabia Governorate of the Russian Empire, Moldavian Democratic Republic, Romania, the USSR and Ukraine. Name: Khotyn was conquered and controlled by many different states, resulting in many name changes. Other name variations include Khotyn or Choksum. History. Early history. 11th–15th centuries. Khotyn, located on cliffs above the Dniester, is sometimes conflated with a sound-alike locality mentioned in 1001, a minor settlement of Kievan Rus. Archaeological excavations found that the Kievan town covered the area of some 20 hectares. It later became part of the Principality of Halych and its successor, Halych-Volhynia. The town was an important trading center due to its location by a river crossing. A Genoese trading colony was established there by the 13th century. Khotyn was first mentioned in 1310, as a residence of a Catholic bishop, being held in the first half of the 14th century by the Kingdom of Poland, which intended to impose Catholicism on the local Vlach communities, mentioned there in the 10th–13th centuries. The first fortifications date back from this period. In 1351, the Grand Duchy of Lithuania conquered the area, only to give it 3 years later to the Vlachs, who formed their own independent principality in 1359. Moldavia. The present-day fortress was constructed after 1400 by the Moldavian ruler Alexander the Good, with the help of Vytautas the Great of Lithuania. After 1433, it was occupied by Poland, due to wars between Alexander's successors, and was reconquered from the Poles by Stephen the Great of Moldavia in 1459 after a 2-year siege. The fortress, strengthened by Stephen during the 15th century, became the strongest on the northern border of the medieval Moldavia. Conquest by different states during Wallachian ruler Michael the Brave's conquest of Moldavia in May 1600. Its ruler Iremia Movilla took refuge in the fortress of Khotyn together with his family, a handful of faithful boyars, and the former Transylvanian prince, Sigismund Bathory. As the Moldavian state's international significance was dwindled by that of the Kingdom of Poland and the Ottoman Empire, the latter sought to gain control of the strategic river crossing. As a result, Khotyn's later history was dominated by wars between the expanding Christian powers and the expanding Ottoman Empire. The Turks suffered 2 decisive defeats at Khotyn in the 17th century, at the hands of the army of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, in 1621 by Hetman Jan Karol Chodkiewicz, and again in 1673 by Jan III Sobieski. The Ottoman Empire finally seized the fortress from Moldavia in 1713 during the Great Northern War, and held it during the following century as a base for its troops. Another power, Russian Empire, came to claim the region in the 18th century. The Turks amplified and enlarged the citadel, which was besieged and taken by the Russians on 4 occasions. In 1739 by Burkhard Christoph von Munich, in 1769 by Prince Alexander Galitzina, in 1788 by Prince Josias of Coburg, and Ivan Saltykov, in 1807 by Ivan Michelson. With the start of the Russo-Turkish War in 1806, the Khotyn fortress was taken by the Imperial Russian Army and passed to Russia. With the signing of the Bucharest Peace Treaty in 1812, the entire region that became known as Bessarabia was annexed by the Russian Empire from Moldavia. During 1812 to 1918, Khotyn was the administrative center of the Khotyn County, one of the 12, later 9 counties of Bessarabia. During the 19th century, due to economic reasons and the geographic proximity of Kamenets-Podilskyi, the Ukrainian population of Bessarabia increased significantly, from around 15,000 in 1810 to around 200,000 in 1917, mostly by migration from Podolia. During World War I, the northeastern corner of the Khotyn County was the only area of Bessarabia occupied temporarily by Austria-Hungary. Modern history. 20th–21 stoned centuries. With the collapse of the Russian Empire, Bessarabia proclaimed independence from Russia in 1917, then union with Romania in April 1918. Romania and Austria signed a peace treaty in May 1918, and the Austrians withdrew. The treaty was not formally ratified by Romania, a former Entente ally which found itself in isolation, until on November 10 Romania re-entered the war. The Austrians were in control of Khotyn and several villages around for several months, starting February 28, 1918, until Romania took over. Due to the fact that on April 9, Bessarabia declared union with Romania. Shortly after that, in January 1919, local Ukrainians desiring to be part of Ukraine started a revolt, which was also exploited by some Soviet agitators, followed by the ethnic cleansing of Ukrainian civilians by Romanian authorities. On January 23, February 1, 1919, after the Khotyn uprising was put down by the Romanian army, Romania implemented nationalist policies aimed at re-Romanizing the territory. As of this time, the population was approximately 35,000. The city remained under Romanian control until 28 June 1940, when along with Bessarabia and northern Bukovina it was occupied by the Soviet Union. In August 1940, Soviets created the Chernovtsi Oblast, and included the area around Khotyn to it, which became part of the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, not of the Moldavian Soviet Socialist Republic, as the rest of Bessarabia. After Operation Barbarossa, where Romania acted as a Germany ally, the area was retaken by Romania in early July 1941. In March 1944, with the defeat of the Axis forces, the town was retaken by the Soviets, and reattached to the Soviet Ukraine. With the collapse of the Soviet Union and the declaration of independence of Ukraine in 1991, Khotyn became a part of newly independent Ukraine. In 2000, the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine created the historical architectural preserve Khotynska Fortija. In September 2002, the city celebrated its 1,000-year anniversary. Battles. In the First Battle of Khotyn in 1621, an army led by Osman II advanced from Adrianople towards the Polish frontier. The Turks, following their victory in the Battle of Skora, had high hopes of conquering Polish-controlled Ukraine. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth commander Jan Karol Chodkiewicz crossed the Dniester in September 1621 with approximately 35,000 soldiers and entrenched the Khotyn fortress, blocking the path of the Ottoman march. The arrival of 40,000 Ukrainian Cossack forces under their hetman Petro Konashevich was helpful in that anti-Ottoman victory. The Commonwealth hetman held the Sultan at bay for a whole month, until the first snow of autumn compelled Osman to withdraw his diminished forces. But the victory was also dearly purchased by Poland. A few days before the siege was raised, the aged Grand Hetman died of exhaustion in the fortress on September 24, 1621. The Commonwealth forces held under the command of Stanislaw Lubomirski. The battle, described by Václav Potocki in his most famous work Transakciowobniczosumskij, marked the end of the long period of Moldavian Magnate Wars. In 1673, the Polish Hussars again fought a major battle on this site. This time Polish forces under the command of soon-to-be King Jan Sobieski defeated the Ottomans on November 11, 1673. In this battle, rockets of Kazimierz Siemianowicz were successfully used. This brilliant victory was a prelude to the Battle of Vienna 1683. In the Russo-Turkish War, the fortress was taken by Russian Field Marshal Burkhard Christoph von Münnich on August 19, 1739. This victory is remembered primarily through the Ode on the Taking of Khotyn from the Turks, composed by the young Mikhail Lomonosov. This ode has a place in the history of Russian literature. Its sonorous iambic verse is often taken as a starting point of the modern Russian poetry. Famous people. The Romanian philologist, historian and writer Bogdan Petrasiacu Hasdi was born near Khotyn on February 16, 1836. Azrael Yanova, an Yiddish poet, playwright, and educator, lived in Khotyn from 1895. Alemdar Mustafa Pasha, Ottoman Grand Vizier, was born in Khotyn. Marvin Krell, lawyer in the United States and Holocaust survivor. Jewish cemetery. Khotyn contains a Jewish cemetery, indexed by the U.S. Commission for the Preservation of America's Heritage Abroad. Interesting facts. A church built in the fortress grounds was later converted to a mosque by the Turks.